Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. Before I get into the video today, let me just address the elephant in the room, which is obviously the Target stock just picture that goes that comes with the frame when you buy it. We're working on printing out some photos and getting some put in there of our own, but for now that is what I'm working with right now, so don't judge me. Probably by the next video those will be changed. But anyways, today in this video what I wanted to show was yesterday actually my wife Haley and I took a couple out for an engagement photo shoot, and man, honestly it was amazing. We had a really just kind of moody, cloudy, overcast day, which it's December, so that's kind of what you can come to expect. But man, honestly these photos turned out amazing, and I want to show you just a couple, maybe 3 or 4 of the photos that we took. Mostly they're going to be ones that Haley took because I spent some time just filming and kind of playing the second shooter role for the most part, which is kind of, you know, it wasn't really planned. It's just kind of the way it worked out. Haley got in a really good vibe and a good just flow with things, so she just kind of took over and took most of the photos that that I'll show you here today. But anyways, yeah, this place was super cool. It's about an hour drive away from our home, and again, this is like moody to the max. There was bald eagles flying everywhere, there was fog, it was overcast, it looked like it was about to rain, but it never did. The weather held up on us, like I said. So yeah, honestly, really good time. Let me go ahead and show you the first video, or the first photo here on the screen that I like and I want to talk about. This one right here. As you can see, just kind of the moody vibes coming in pretty strong here. Man, this one was amazing. This was like the first location that we went to, and this was taken within the first couple of days, or first couple of minutes, to be honest with you. And this is one that Haley took, by the way. But yeah, one thing that I really like about it is just the composition of it all. I feel like sometimes something that's really tricky is nailing that composition, and really when you take that photo, sometimes there can be so many different distracting elements that take away from what the subject is, which obviously for this purpose we want the subject to be the couple here for their engagement. And you know, there's really no distracting elements. I just love the contrast, the colors. For me, something that I love doing with portraits, and something that I'm trying to just be more mindful of more and more when I go out to shoot, is I just love kind of shooting up into the sky, especially when it's overcast like it was today. I kind of just like that that blown out sky look, which this isn't blown out, but just because there really wasn't, you know, a blue sky, you just have just a really like kind of clear and basic background, which I think helps add to the composition of the photo. You know exactly where to look. I love how just kind of the fog is just peeking at the top of the trees here in the background. The water, just honestly, the colors here look really good in my opinion. And it obviously helps too that the couple, I think their outfits kind of help add to just like the Pacific Northwest vibes that I think they were going for, and we were definitely going for as well. Yeah, if I had to rate this photo out of 5, I would honestly give it like a 4 to maybe 4.5. And the only reason that I would say, you know, it's not like a perfect photo is just because I think for the most part it's pretty basic in terms of their posing and what we were asking them to do, which is kind of more the style that we're leaning towards anyway. But I guess if there is just anything to take away from like a perfect 5 out of 5 photo, in my opinion, it's just there's not like a ton of emotion. Obviously, you know, you can tell that they love each other, but you know, there's not maybe you know, a ton of laughter or, you know, real intimacy going on, which isn't a big deal. We have had a ton of those photos, but for this one, yeah, 4 to 4.5 out of 5, I would say. Moving on to the next one. This is a photo that I took, which is also the thumbnail of this video, but well, I think it is at this moment it is. One thing that I liked about this location, this was actually like a floating dock. There, where we went, there's a bunch of floating houses out in the middle of this lake, which was just crazy cool. But for this photo, you know, we brought this prop, we brought this blanket that they're sitting on, which if you're a portrait photographer or you do weddings or engagements, I think having props can sometimes be beneficial. You know, we haven't been doing this a whole long time, but this is the first time that we actually brought the blanket with us, which we've been wanting to do this for a while. And I think finally we found a good use for it. Yeah, again, this photo, in my opinion, and we really couldn't do a whole lot about it. I did like one little Photoshop thing that you probably could never notice, but I'm not a huge fan of all of the like the poles and the boats and just kind of all the messiness that's going on here. It does help show the setting and the scenery of where we're at, and that's definitely not a bad thing. But I don't know, I think to make what would have made this photo better is if, you know, we were out like on this dock here and there was just nothing but the lake and the mountains and the trees and the fog behind them. To me, that's kind of what I would have preferred, but I don't think, you know, it doesn't take away from the photo too much. The one thing that I did on the Photoshop side of things was that there was like one of these, you know, one of the poles that you see there, I don't know what that is, but there was a pole that was sticking right out of, Christy is her name, right out of her head, which I never like when stuff like that is like poking out of your subject's head. So I went ahead and in Photoshop, just did a little content aware fill, took rid of that. And if I were to grade this photo out of 5, I would give it maybe like a 3 to 3.5, which in my opinion, it still looks good. The color is just great. There's just, again, there's not a whole lot going on in the photo. I think for their purpose, they'll definitely like it. But for me, you know, grading on like a 5 out of 5 is a perfect photo. Again, kind of like to the last one, there's not a ton of emotion here. I think this photo is telling a bit of a story. You know that they're at a dock, they're just kind of chilling, they're hanging out, they're looking out onto the lake, which you could interpret that however you want to do so. Moving on to the next one, which maybe I'll wrap it up here. Maybe this will be the last photo that we look at, but this one right here, wow. Yeah, obviously the first thing that you will notice is their dog, which they asked to bring their dog, which they have a lab, we have a lab. We're like, yes, bring your dog. That'll be super, super fun. And their dog was really awesome, kind of just followed us around everywhere that we went. And I love that Haley was able to capture this moment just because, you know, we said, hey, go ahead and, you know, jump on his back real quick and do a little piggyback thing and kind of walk around. And their dog was like, hey, what's going on here? You know, their dog was very similar to Nike, our dog, which anytime we're doing something, he always wants to be in the center of attention and figure out what the heck's going on. And their dog was no different here. And so I think for them, the fact that they asked us before to bring their dog, in my mind, I was like, okay, they obviously very much love their dog, they value their dog, and if there's any way we could get their dog in their photos without just straight up posing, which we did a few times, they didn't turn out great, but this one was so, I think, so raw, so kind of spur of the moment. We had nothing to do with their dog jumping into frame here, which I really, really like, and I think they will appreciate that as well. Next thing I notice is just their faces, their facial expression. You can tell that they are having a good time. We didn't tell them to, all right, go ahead and smile right here. You know, they just did that on their own doing, which is always gonna be the best photos, in my opinion, is when the couple they're just kind of in their own moment, having fun with each other, doing their own thing. That's when their real, like, true, genuine, authentic smile will always show up, which I think we nailed that one, or Haley nailed that one right here. Honestly, if I were to grade this photo out of 5, in my opinion, I would give this 4 out of 5 to 5. There's seriously nothing that I could take away from this. I love the colors, I love the emotion, I love the composition. Everything about this is awesome. Yeah, honestly, I love this photo. There's really nothing more that I could do with that. But yeah, anyways, I will end the video off right here. Not really like a crazy, cool, exciting video, but I just figured this would be something interesting to share. I made one of these the other week when I took my, or when my buddy and I went out for a hike. and just kind of shared some of the photos that we were able to take after the fact, and just talk about them and see kind of what I think and maybe what you guys think as well. But yeah, anyways, in the next couple of weeks, I've got a bunch of really cool ideas planned, and I cannot wait to get outside and shoot some of those videos and just show you kind of what Haley and I are up to these days. But anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, definitely hit that like button. I'd appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, yeah, go ahead and do so. I would love to have you along the channel and just see what we're doing over here. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.